And comment ça va, mes amis? And boom, there we go. Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Growl. And I'm Bayou, as all of you may or may not know. And then, of course, we have our good friend here, Steven, or Steve,
How's
as
it going?
what's happening, my friend? Good to see you on here again. Glad to have you back. Um, it's been a few weeks, but yeah, and you were long overdue, man.
Well, you mentioned that you were gonna have me back, but people are always they promise me things. They do, and then it doesn't happen. So you came through, and I appreciate that.
Well, I don't let my mouth write checks that my body can't cash, and yep, uh, this stream is ever evolving, and so on and so forth, and we're trying to keep things lively here with with good content, good topics, and good people. And okay, Shade is in the audience, but God dog it, my freaking chat is not working properly, of course, which, doesn't really surprise me because everything was working great this afternoon with all my audio and video. My I didn't check to see what happened to my chat, but I'll uh I'll have it up and running hopefully. And Shade is the first one in, and did it, and Ziggy with it. Click here and get a list. And no self promotion. How else will people get it with it if I don't self promote? Yeah, that's right, dude. There's no self promotion on here. I'm promoting myself. And we got Mark Johnson here in the house.
Hey
All right,
guys, everybody.
let me and of course, what's in your cup tonight? Well, tonight I'm having my usual Cameron's Velvet Moon espresso blend, something or other like that.
You can do a coffee this late at night. That's crazy. I got the monster, a real sugar one too. I treated myself to actual sugar.
Okay, you're telling me about
Right.
coffee and you're drinking Monster.
It's something about the hotness. A hot coffee, that's like 3 times as much energy somehow chemically. And I was a science teacher. I can say these things. Yours is way more somehow.
Well, I'm a former truck driver, and coffee is in my blood. What can I say?
Yeah. Well,
And
teachers the same thing. Teachers, you gotta have like, when they invented the Keurig, that like, the cool like the serious, mostly the math teachers, it seemed like all had a Keurig because they just had to be awake. Like that's a natural sleepy subject, anyways. But like the Keurigs in the classroom, that was nice. It got to the point where you didn't really need to leave and go get common coffee anywhere.
oh wow, you had Keurigs in the classroom?
Yeah, we're fancy school district, but we did.
Apparently, very
I
fancy
mean, I
school
was a
district.
science teacher, so I had the sinks, so I didn't need to leave except to go to the bathroom. Really,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I had a. I guess you could call him a science teacher. Back in high school, he taught us. Let's see, junior year he taught us chemistry, and then senior year he taught us physics. And he was a cool guy. He of all the teachers I ever had in high school, he prepared me the most for college because he ran the class pretty much like a college class. And when he'd give us a test, we'd all start, and it was dead silence. This dude commanded respect severely. He was a Vietnam vet, flew 2 tours over there, so you didn't mess with him, and nobody dared act up because all the rumors and the urban legends about him flew around, and of course some of them were possibly true but not quite true actually, but still in awe. We'd start taking a test. Well, his classroom was not attached to the main building. It was like an added on building
Uh,
that his classroom was in with the science lab, chemistry lab, whatever you want to call it. And he would open up the back door. You had a back door that led to the student parking lot in the back. He'd open up the back door and he'd go outside and smoke a cigarette. And the really crazy thing is,
hey, we just
everybody
lost
would
your
be.
audio. Your
Did I
audio
lose?
flipped out. It
Do
came
I
back.
have it?
It came back.
Okay. Yeah. Any other teacher walking outside like that? Oh yeah, man. We'd have been cheating our butts off. But he went outside to smoke a cigarette. Ain't nobody said a word. Nose to the grindstone. We weren't going to take a chance because even though little security cameras weren't common back then. I mean, God, this was the 80s. Even the cameras at the banks were huge. Well, he would have had something in the classroom. We just knew it. We were sure he had invented some type of contraption and would be able to tell if we were talking and if we were cheating, etc.
But you said he had a great impact on you. He's one of your most
Yes.
memorable. And
Yes.
he cared, right? He's somebody that you wanted to do well for, and that's the whole trick to being a good teacher. I think is just connecting and doing and wanting kids to do well for you. And I'm glad you had that experience. The more I think about schools and teaching and all that, I think those days are kind of gone. I think schools as we know them are gone. In two couple years, everything that we know about the way schools have been run are going to be changing just because it has to, because we were just putting money into something that's not working. Coming from my background.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, not only did he, well, he was a great impact and impressed the heck out of me. He also impressed the heck out of my mom, which took a lot. Because see, my mom worked bingo every Wednesday night. I went to Catholic school, so yeah, they made their money the old-fashioned way. They played bingo. So every month, teachers had to do their duty and come help work with bingo. So one month, he's there working for bingo, and my mom's asking, how the kids doing, yada, yada, yada. And he says, well, William's class had an exam yesterday and approximately 95% of the class failed. And Mr. Smith graded on the curve. So if that many of us failed with his curve, you know that it was bad. But anyway, so he tells my mom, he says, you know what that means, don't you? And my mom's like, he says, apparently I didn't teach the subject matter properly. I'm going to have to go back and reteach this because apparently the kids didn't get it. And my mom was like, you never taught in a public school, did you? Because our public schools were horrible back then. But yeah, that was just, that was a trip with no luggage. He said, no. He said, if that many of them didn't pass, well, we have a problem. And I'm like,
that's the way it's supposed to be. Is it's not about getting a grade. It's not about anything. It's about the time that, I always talk to my kids about teaching as like going to the store every day, and you go to the store to get something. You don't go to the store just for the heck of it. So I wanted my kids to walk out every day with something that they didn't walk in with,
yes.
I taught like that. And I think what we're slipping into in our schools sometimes now is just putting time in, and it's no one's fault. It's just that there's too many pressures on kids, too much going on. But
And
there's
there's a
all those
lack
great
of home stuff. I'm sorry, go
Well, the
ahead.
pandemic didn't help anybody. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was still married and had a family, and that I remember we slipped into like texting instead of actually getting in the same room and talking during the pandemic, and like that was a habit that stuck with us, and it was a divide. When you're not in the same room, there's a lot of communication that isn't, over that you can't just do over a text. And that's this technology sometimes is a divide and can get between you when you don't even realize it.
Yeah. And what was I don't know if you can see the comment that Ziggy with it posted up there, but yeah, it's true. Bayou thought his coaches were tough, but when he got home to his mom and found out what tough really was, yeah, coaches would just make me run or something like that. My whole family participated in, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, my family was the village, and I was the village idiot, apparently. But
Yeah.
when I got in trouble at school, now not so much at the Catholic school, because I had to walk the straight and narrow there because they were stricter and they kept me more challenged. But at the public school, from kindergarten up to sixth grade, if I got into like real trouble at school, principal
Well,
and stuff,
you got in
principal would
trouble.
call. Yeah.
Did you actually get in real trouble, like suspended before, or like
Uh,
actual?
well, I never got suspended because the
Okay,
principal was afraid of my family,
there
but
you go.
he would call and he'd call my grandmother. My grandmother be at home. Grandfather's working, mom's working. So when I got off the bus, I was gonna get an ass whipping from my grandmother. My grandfather got home about 4:30. She'd tell him, get another ass whipping. My mom would get home about 5:15, 5:30. And there's my third ass whipping, and I couldn't sit for a week.
You're not
And
joking, right?
no, I'm
There,
not joking.
I mean, but there's something to be said about like getting it over with, right? You got punished and you were done with it, and you moved on, and your family dealt with it. I don't know. Everything is it's tough for parents now to know how to discipline really. I don't know. I don't even know how to discipline my kids. As a dad who sees them every other weekend, not much. It's a totally different dynamic, and you just have to prioritize good time together, which ends up being a lot of money usually.
Yeah. What's up, Kevin? Glad you could pop in. But yeah, I think that it all starts at home. And yeah, that was a kind of there was a difference back then with in the Catholic school system. There was a big difference because the parents were actively involved in their kids' education. It wasn't just, teacher says little Johnny was acting up. Little Johnny says, "Oh no, the teacher did it," and Mama goes to school and beats up the teacher. No,
Did you
the
let me ask you this. Were kids paddled at your school when they got in trouble?
in elementary, yes. When I got into junior high and high school, no. And in some cases, I wish we would have been paddled. It'd have been
Same. Did
it'd
you
have been better.
remember do you remember any of the kids when they got paddled at your school when you were, because I do, like in gym class, he had like that paddle with the holes in it, and I'll never like everybody got paddled. It wasn't just the kid in the room. We all
Oh
heard
yeah,
it, right? That was There was something to that. Um it's sad that I remember, we both remember that though, right? It's traumatizing in a way, but maybe a necessary trauma in a way.
well, sixth grade, Mr. Casimir, he taught us English and math, and he treated us at that in sixth grade year was the year they brought the high school over and consolidated the school. So he treated us like he treated his high school students, and we got to cutting up. He'd leave the room for whatever reason and come back, and we're all raising nine kinds of hell. Well, the whole class was in trouble, and he
Oh,
give us a choice: you can stay in for recess for a month, or face the board of education. Well, the board of education was a paddle that he custom made in his woodworking shop,
that
and
was
yeah,
real, right? Like
oh
he would.
yeah,
Oh Lord.
Yeah. He did make one that was a bit much. It was probably about a little more, it was more than a quarter inch thick. So he wouldn't use that one. He wouldn't swing as hard. Let's put it that way. But you knew you got it, and I was one of the brave ones because like I ain't staying in for recess for a month. The hell with that. I'm gonna take my lumps and ooh.
Months is a long time. Recess was the best part of school for sure.
Oh heck yeah, man. Now, what he couldn't threaten us with, he used on the high school kids, made them stay in for PE for a month. And that's back before, PE actually was graded or anything. All you had to do was be present and you made an A.
I don't know. I my like junior high experience was first hour of swimming, like 7:45 a.m. Yeah, and
Wow.
then try and you know that I prize how I look, so you knock my style down right away because then you can't like even do your hair right the rest of the day. So basically, you're just a scrub for seventh grade, and that's this first hour swimming, freezing
Well,
cold. That pool they chilled it. I swear.
we didn't have any puddles big enough to have swimming in high school, but uh seventh and eighth grade, both years, we had PE first period. And not every classroom and definitely not the gym was air conditioned. So yeah,
Mhm.
you sweat like
Ugh.
a pregnant nun in confession, and then you had to go to class after that.
Yep.
And
It's but that's a smell you'll never forget. There's nothing you can do about it.
I remember some of my classmates saying that if a teacher ever hit one of their kids, they would go and beat the teacher. I guess we're seeing the results nowadays. Yeah, we are.
Well, it just doesn't work. I'll tell you, it's just easier to get out of the field of education than it is to face some of the pushback. And parents, I don't fault them. As a parent, you just want to know you're doing the best for your kid. Um, but there's unfortunately too many It's just too many distractions now. There is way too much going on for kids to even be expected to like focus. Think about the chat GPT. Like, how are you not gonna like have your paper done if you could be like, hey, I could spend all weekend on this paper about so and so, or I could have chat GPT do it and just be like, can you write it at 11th grade level so that nobody looks at it? And it's right. And that's the
Your
reality of
partner?
Sorry about that.
oh no problem.
But yeah, we didn't have luxuries like that. When we plagiarized something, I mean, we just copied it verbatim from the encyclopedia, and
Not
we learned
learning.
not to plagiarize anything.
It's not learning. You're not learning
No,
anything.
no.
You're learning how to input into AI. So that's when I say things like it's going to be 2 years at most before everybody's like, this just doesn't work anymore. At the younger elementary levels, fundamentally, yeah, but like otherwise, I can't. I have to. I'm gonna call it like I see it. I think they're just kind of wasting their time when they're going to school anymore. Like AI could just do the stuff, and most of the kids have them do it. I'm thinking that's what's going on. That's what I would be doing. And as a teacher, I'll tell you, as a teacher, like, and I wasn't the best teacher, but like AI and like what was it called? Teachers pay teachers. If I didn't have the right worksheet or the right handout or the right activity, I was just searching it up and paying $1.99 and I had my activity that day. And that was
Wow.
not what I learned in college, but that was the reality of what we slipped into sometimes when we're trying to do 900 things. And I had 20 years of teaching behind me to kind of support that and all this experience and all that, but like human nature is we're going to take the easy way. And I don't blame kids for doing it, but my heart tells me there's not a ton of learning happening in schools anymore once they get past elementary school.
And kids aren't being challenged, I don't think, because there's well, first of all, there's so much apathy, and you're right about the distractions and whatnot. I mean, come on now. Every kid that's at least what 10 years old, maybe younger, has their own phone.
Right.
You know, I can remember the 80s Walkmans. Oh man. If you brought your Walkman to school, you better leave that shit in your locker because you were going to get it confiscated and you might get it back. But then again, you might not get it back.
Well, they would probably leave your Walkman and get my Discman because I was a little cooler and I had the newer one. You know, you had the tape player and I had the CD players. No, I'm just kidding, but I know what you're saying. And the apathy for kids today, you know, as it's the screens and it's every like it's you can jump on your phone and look at all the things that you're not all day long. And you're addicted to looking at things that you're not. Like you're addicted to. You have to doom scroll. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's awful for kids and they go to school and they're just kind of mean to each other and I don't know. I think I feel like it's at a boiling point. I see my sons like every other weekend and like the toxicity of their interactions and they're brothers, I get it. But some of that stuff, I'm like, I don't miss that part of school and just having to be with kids that are just hurting all the time. And most kids are hurting all the time in this country. Like they're always hurting, you know, like we don't say it, but it's true. And I feel bad, but it's a lot to do with social media and their goals are to be athletes and they want to do this stuff. They want to be here and they don't necessarily know how to get there. And I don't know, you know, we don't know what to tell them, but I don't know if sitting for all day in school anymore is the way to do it either.
Oh, Romy, glad I teach driving. AI would not do well with that. Well, I don't know. It depends on whether or not you're a Tesla.
Right. I mean, I'm reading Elon's biography right now, and that guy's pretty incredible. You know, he's something else. But those electric cars, like they do have cars that drive themselves, right? Like in some
Yes.
cities now.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
think they're Teslas, but
well, Tesla's was, I think, the last brand to get in. They're doing it in Arizona. I'm not sure where, and I think they're doing it out in San Francisco. But yeah, it's driverless cabs. But I think for the test phase, there has to be a driver present in the car to ensure everything goes well and make sure that
okay.
the AI doesn't crash. Now I'm trying to find that comment that Shade made just a little while ago, which
The
I
Teslas, you could take a nap on the highway or do whatever you need to on the like that's the
yeah.
they can go at highway speeds if someone's in there, right?
Well, you know that's how one of the guys got killed in a Tesla because he, uh, well, I don't know about the napping part, but I do know that there was one guy that got killed. He was playing a video game on his phone, and the car mistook something for something else or whatever, and
Uh-oh.
he still, and
Yeah,
then
that's good.
now I'm trying to find that comment, but I gotta, dude, I gotta do something with the.
I was gonna I gotta talk to you about beard oil for a minute while we're doing that. Because I have been talking about Duke Cannon and it's gotten super cold here in Michigan and super dry. And it is I had to switch to an Ardius man oil that I had a bottle of, could like a thicker one
Yes,
because
I
it
hear
did
there.
dry out
It's
like
really
here.
thick.
So I have to admit that some of the people are saying that it did dry them out. As I got to these winter months, yeah, I definitely it like pulls at my beard if I use that one right now.
All right. What am I? Well, anyway, I can't find Shade's comment because everything is flying by so quickly. Ah, it's flying. It must be AI. No, I'm kidding. It's not AI, but yeah, Shade said that AI is taking a lot of things and going to take a majority of jobs in the future. Well, I agree and disagree. Uh, until they have fully functional robots and that kind of stuff, we're still going to need plumbers. We're still going to need carpenters. We're still going to need, manual labor type workers, because AI may be able to design a house, but AI is not going to build it. It's not like you're going to have a big gigantic 3D printer that'll just
Right.
print the house.
Although
But
that would be cool,
yeah.
How awesome would it be? Like Mr. Beast is like, all right, you want a house, and where do we print it? Like we can print it here, print it there, print it everywhere. I don't know. AI is more powerful than we realize. I think it'll be good at. I think you're right. Those skilled trades, it'll be good at not just making those jobs more possible because there'll be more opportunities, but identifying the best skilled trades and identifying the best workers. And we have the system of reviewing things and putting reviews online, and you can only believe so much of what's written, whereas like AI can, when it gets good, probably filter out. It doesn't my job. It saves me a ton of time, and it knows exactly what I don't need to look at, and then gives me like 3 great options of what I want to use. I use it all the time for like posts and stuff at work.
Yep. And during the cold winter weeks in Texas, I sometimes have to apply another dropper 12 hours, up to 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours later. Wow. I'm not conscious long enough there, Kevin. But Kevin went back to the topic of the beard oil. And, fortunately, I think we might actually have a little bit of a winter, tiny bit, but I haven't had that issue with beard oil not being thick enough yet.
It's nasty cold up here. It reminds me of when I used to have my paper route, and I used to ride my bike in the frozen snow and stuff. And I had like a basket and a milk crate in the front. I was throwing them on people's porches, old style. We had cold winters, like the buses wouldn't start in the morning, so school would be canceled, but I'd still be out there in the papers. That's how cold it is out there right now. I was walking the dogs before this, and it's nasty. Nose hair cold because it gets your nose hairs. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure I've ever experienced that
Oh,
particular.
you don't want to. It's not good. You don't know you have that many nose hairs till you take a good inhale in your nose, and they all freeze at once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they actually freeze, but I'm a little dramatic sometimes.
And Shade is explaining that you're in Michigan, you're in the Arctic.
More or less.
And okay, Romy, and I'm not sure who else said that. Asked why your comments were disappearing. I don't know. I saw you post that, but all these comments, for some reason, keep flowing back at me. And let's see. And oh yeah, Mrs. Bayou says winter's drying out and killing my tootsies. I don't know what a tootsie is.
I think feet.
I
My
still
feet
don't know
are
what you're talking. I still don't know what a tootsie is. Or tootsies. I don't know what a tootsie is. Oh, and Randy wants to know how far up in Michigan are you?
Well, we have the built-in map. We're like I'm like right here. It's not too bad. Kind of right here.
Okay, and I'm going to assume that you know where that
45
is,
minutes,
Randy, because I
45 minutes north of Detroit. Just I-75, Flint area.
oh yeah, the place with the really good water.
You know, we have really good people here in Flint. We're not known for our water, but we're known for our good people. We'll leave it
Well,
at that.
we're not. I'm not taking a shot at the people. I'm just taking a shot at
Right.
the water, because the little town that I'm from, just north of here, a little bitty town called Washington. The water's really bad there, and just south of there, the larger city of 18,000, maybe, the water's even worse there. And in my little hometown of Washington, it hasn't been as bad lately, but we moved away like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And since we moved away, that's when I finally started getting the notifications the text messages whenever there was problems with the town or whatever, and never got it while we lived there. Expect the
Oh,
notification that told you when there was a boil advisory and that kind of stuff.
like the sewage is back, the water table's too high, that people's yards are coming. Oh, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe it's better you didn't know. You're still alive.
Well, just barely, but yeah. 1 week, I want to say for like a 2 week period, there were like 5 water outages due to a leak that had to be repaired. And of course, there were boil advisories because the water had to be shut off. And it's just crazy. And, thank God we're not living there anymore because every time I get a text message about it, it's like, glad to be gone from there because they have serious problems with the water system up there. But I also know that a lot of it has to do with the corruption that there was in years prior. The town was making buku dollars off of speeding tickets. The town was known as Louisiana's worst speed trap, and
I think I
God only
drove.
knows where that money went because it didn't go back into the infrastructure. That's
I
for
might have
sure.
driven through there because I used to go down to Dauphin Island in Alabama, and we went over and drove over to New Orleans a couple times, and there was this town or two in Louisiana that was known. Well, Macon, Georgia, I think is known in Georgia, but in Louisiana, maybe that's your guys. Maybe maybe I passed you, but I went really slow. It was like 15 or something.
Well, there are several little small towns that are speed traps in Louisiana. Not all of them are as well known as others. The town of Bernice. Ain't nobody here on here going to recognize that name. But hey, I can remember in Arkansas coming down from oh God, I was coming from Illinois, I think. And I was a little over axle on my trailer, so I kind of I didn't bypass the way station. I just kind of went around it. And it's this highway that's running parallel to I-55
All right,
before
what
you get to
pause? Over axle, you had more axles on your trailer than you were supposed to for that road, right? Is that what you're saying?
uh I was too heavy.
Too
My
heavy.
Yeah, I was too heavy, so I went around and I don't remember what little town it was, but somebody had put up a big sign, not quite billboard size, but pretty big sign, and it was spray painted on there, and it said, uh, "Warning: Speed trap ahead." And the speed limit went from 55 to 25, just boom, like that. No warning, no nothing. It was like, well, I'm glad. I'm glad
Someone
that
must
they
have.
warned us about it.
Yeah, I used to have like a radar detector and think that all in all, I still got pulled over and got in trouble. I always got in trouble. I just have a way of finding things.
Well, that's probably because you were using the wrong type of thing. You're using a radar detector. You were not using a radar locator. And there's a particular brand that Ziggy knows what I'm talking about. And because he and I both used to run one, although he ran his in his Camaro, I ran mine in my Peterbilt. Yes, that is against federal regulations to have
Right.
such a device inside a commercial motor vehicle, but that thing was worth its weight in gold. And yeah, it saved my bacon because many years prior, in 1 week, 5 days time, actually, I got 2 speeding tickets in 2 different places in Louisiana, both for doing the same thing and doing 69 and a 55. What they clocked me at, and you could see that when you get back to back citations, you can see the differences in how money hungry we have parishes, not counties, how money hungry the parish is. The first one was in Cameron Parish, And for $90, could pay court costs, and they would bump it down to a non-moving violation and keep it off my record, yada yada yada. Boom, no problem. The other one was in St. Martin Parish. For $165, they would reduce it to a non-moving violation and keep it off of my record. So in Cameron Parish, the actual fine was like 120 something or something or other like that. But the reduced fine was $90. Okay, groovy, cool. Well, they told me in St. Martin Parish, okay, the fine is 165, whatever. Okay, but we can reduce it to a non-moving violation. You pay court costs, and it'll be 165, whatever. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I was getting a break here. Nope, there was no break.
I got one ticket ever, but it was a pretty big break. I don't know if you'll believe me. I had a really bad day at Kohl's, and I was going home, and it was I got it was that I got it written for 5 over, but I was at 101 on the highway, and he pulled me over and he said, "This is it. I don't know what's going on," and I told him I had a horrible day. But he wrote it for 5 over, but he put it on the ticket. Like, and if so I paid it and took the class and counted my lucky stars. I was just kind of cruising and got caught really bad at a moment. And that's my only ticket I ever got, but it was a bad day.
Well, I got a trooper that was really nice in Arkansas because he clocked me doing 72 and a 55. That's what I slowed down to when I saw him. I saw him. He put his lights on, and I just pulled over to the side of the road. I was like, hey, no use trying to pretend that I didn't see him. And I just waited. He went down the road, turned around, came back, and he explained to me, which keyword thought, was an old truck driver wives' tale about, they said that for speeding tickets, you get charged per every mile over the speed limit. Well, I thought that was just a, urban legend. Well, he said, in Arkansas, our speed limits here is still 55, and it's a set price for 5 over the limit. Then every mile they're over, it's a certain amount of money per mile over. Well, he wasn't lying, because when I called to find out my fine, they said, okay, it's X amount of dollars for up to 5 over. And then she says, okay, he wrote you at 14 over. He clocked me doing 72, but he wrote it for 69. So it's going to be it come out to 300 something dollars. I was like, holy shit. I just did not think that was real or true. But the lady said, oh yeah, for commercial vehicles, it's a set price, and then every mile after that, it's X amount of dollars. I don't remember how much it was, but yeah, it clocked me doing 70 something, but wrote me for something less. No, I'm sorry. He wrote me for 65, 10 over. 10 over made my ticket like 360 something dollars. Whew. Yeah. That one hurt.
I just stopped speeding. I just need to stop. I don't go very many places either, but
yeah. Well, get you a Valentine 1 and you don't have to worry about that.
What?
Oops, did I say that out loud?
No.
Valentine 1, the radar locator.
That's the one that works.
Oh, yes.
I don't drive too far. I don't know. I just use Waze. Waze is a pretty good app now, as far as like it lets you know when there's like police ahead and stuff like that. Are you familiar with that?
I am familiar with that, but the problem with Waze is most of the places that most jurisdictions that you drive through, you can't be using your phone handheld. It has to be hands free, and Louisiana just had a new one come out, I think in January, that you can't be the driver can't be using a phone at all while driving. Supposedly not even hands free. I'm not sure. I don't drive anymore, so I didn't research the law. So I really, not that interested.
Yeah, I'm fortunate my Jeep is new enough. It comes up on the screen, and it's, I can't input as much on there, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I I
But with Waze, you need a passenger, a co-pilot monitoring and to be able to report, because I know Waze will ask you if whatever if vehicle on the side of the road will ask you, is it still there? Yes or no, and it updates with that, and then you can also report uh things you see on the road.
So I wrote down some questions since we don't really know each other too well. If you ever want, I can throw some at you. You can always throw some at me. You can always turn them back on me if you want. We could do that, or we can take chat questions if there's anything good. I don't have that in front of me.
All right. Well, if the chat wants to ask questions, I welcome them. And as I put on my post for Facebook to come and join us, who are you? So you want to see who I am? Let's go. Hit me with your best shot. Hit me.
All right. What would be a movie that you could watch over and over? Something. What's a movie you can watch over and over again, and why?
Oh, that's easy. Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand Luke. Okay.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is simply because
What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach.
Okay.
yeah, that's one of my all-time favorites.
All right. Nice. All right. You want to ask me something, or you want me to answer that one for me?
Yeah, let's go.
I For the same question.
Yes.
Okay. I would say I have two movies I can watch over and over again. Drumline, for some reason, I just love Drumline, and then Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is just that every part of that movie is great, and Drumline just I don't know, I love it.
Okay, and Romy says that he always adds hazards and fake police spottings. Now you sound like my buddy Shane. You guys remember the that app that Apple took out of the off the market, the ice blocker, I think is what it was called, where you report where ice was to let everybody know. Yeah, well, Shane would go somewhere, especially out, like a Walmart or someplace like that, and he'd get on the app and say that there were ICE agents there. He'd go to a Home Depot and report it just to see how many people started running.
Just to mess with their app. Is that as long as you're consistent with everybody? I guess I don't know.
All
It's pretty
right,
good.
so next question.
All right. What's your favorite place you've ever visited?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't remember.
All right.
There's a lot of things I don't remember, and well, Mississippi used to be one of my favorite places to visit, but it kind of lost its magic uh, when my mother-in-law's fiance passed away. Mississippi just kind of lost its magic, and it was never the same again.
It's
And
tough.
Ziggy wants to know what I am is what I am. Are you what you are, or what? No, I'm not, but I might be. And even if I wasn't lying, I would tell you that
You can't handle the truth.
Do you got okay? You got those loaded on your sound deck, don't you?
yeah. So, what's a favorite place that you like to visit?
The coolest place I've been is probably London in England. It just felt very much like connect. I was very. It felt like my place. Do you know what I mean? It felt like a home in a way. So I feel like there's probably some people in my background that are from that area. But then also I've been to Jamaica, amazing. Hawaii, amazing. Hawaii is the most unique and different than Michigan, I guess, place I've ever been, and I would love to go back there sometime. But I'm gonna go London. England is the vibe. It's cool.
Now, I just went to DC last week, and that was a whole lot of fun. And I don't know yet if it's my favorite place to visit, but it was cool. It was a very, very fast paced because our days were like severely booked. But I definitely want to go back. I want to do some more sightseeing. And yeah, I know you're seriously enjoying Southeast Asia. That is when he can keep both wheels on the road. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
Uh, he can
So
explain why he can't keep his wheels on the road. Keep both wheels
you went to
upright.
you went to DC recently, you said?
Yeah, last week.
Did you go to any museums or where'd you end up going?
The only thing that we got to do extracurricular wise was we went take a tour of the Capitol, and it's like a freaking city underneath the Capitol.
Yeah.
There's two for sure, two levels underneath there, underground, that I know of them. There are probably more, but I just remember we went in through the Cannon building, which is a building for the House of one of the buildings that the House of Representatives uh resides in, owns, whatever, I don't know. And we went down to the basement from there, and then we walked a tunnel to get to the Capitol. And this tunnel was big enough you probably could have driven a pickup truck down there. And the only everything that's underground over there, the only reason you can tell, the only way you can tell that you're underground is there's no windows. But
Mhm.
otherwise, you would never know that you were below the earth. And that's unheard of here in South Louisiana, because when you get below the earth, you better know how to breathe water.
Water. Yeah. Well, that's I haven't made it to DC since I was a kid, and it's pretty cool. I think our country's pretty lucky to have that area, and I would definitely go see the museums. You know, I
I want
remember
to go
going.
check out the Smithsonian,
Yeah.
and I also want to go to the Library of Congress, because
Okay.
the Library of Congress has pretty much every book that's ever been written. I don't know how this got to be a ginormous library, because to have access to every book that's ever been printed or published or whatever. And I don't know if it's every book. I don't know. I didn't look that up. So don't fact check me on that.
Okay. I got another question for you.
All right.
All right. What is something you could talk about for hours?
I would say my beard, but I could run out of I could run out of things to talk about my beard, but I could talk about just about anything for hours, especially if I'm drinking.
Uh-huh. So it's not so much the topic as what you're doing.
Correct.
You enjoy talking. I'm quiet. I've gotten to be more quiet as I've gotten older. But I do enjoy talking with the right people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and ah I just discovered how to make the comments stop rolling by so quickly, where I could have
Oh, nice.
scrolled up and found that thing. Hey, I learned something new. All right. So, what is the next question?
All right. I don't know. Like, do you prefer to be like planned or spontaneous?
Dude, everything about me is spontaneous. So, it's what it's nice to plan for things, but I have flown by the seat of my pants for the last 53 years. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. And I'm accustomed to it. I've adjusted to it. I know what to expect. So, yeah, spontaneity is always good.
Would you if you could be a planned person, would you switch? Do you admire people that are like that are like super scheduled to a
Mm,
point? I
mm,
can tell by your face that you don't love their life.
Uh, I know too many planned people who just like totally freak out when their plan gets off track. You know, they'll put for vacation, for instance, they'll go on vacation and they'll have this whole itinerary printed up, and all it takes is one thing to happen that's not part of their plan, and they're just totally freaking out. And now, yeah, you have tentative schedules. That's what I believe in. But I don't envy them because they get entirely too uptight, too much anxiety.
I think I'm kind of I like to be like utter uber structured and rigid in my routines in my personal life so that I can be crazy spontaneous, like off the wall, so that I have that freedom because I have a good structure of everything I can do. Doesn't matter where I am, I can do my exercise, I can do my things, but then you could just go somewhere and just do something crazy. I always want to be able to do that in life. If when you lose that, I don't know. I think God put us here to have those moments. Have both. You have to have mundane days and you have to have wild moments where you just fly off and do something crazy.
Yeah, I can tell, Romy, you're very uptight. Uh, just I can tell just by the soap you use, Romy. But yeah, I now, yeah, let's say, okay, I leave out tomorrow morning and I've got to go to X, Y, and Z. Well, I will plan out the trip. I won't set a schedule to it, but I'm going to go to the farthest place first and make my way back. And I will, from a logistical standpoint, I will plan the trip out. Uh, and I will, my wife and I, don't always see eye to eye to this because she'll decide she wants to go someplace. I'm like, no, we're not going to double back and go back and forth across town. We go boom, 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 come home like that. That kind of planning I will do. And also looking at it from a risk management perspective, uh, you risk assessment and uh, if it's 8 o'clock in the morning, there's going to be gridlock traffic over here. Well, we're not going to go over here. If we have errands to run over here, we're going to go over there until the traffic dies down, and so on and so forth. Yeah, like Ziggy says, a lot of vacationers ruin their own vacations by just scheduling too much, making it impossible to do all the things, especially if there's a traffic jam or something. Yep, and we have family members that just like fall to pieces because everything is scheduled down to the minute. And I mean the minute. And all of a sudden, oh, boom, that's 5 minutes. Oh, we're 10 minutes behind. Oh, no, we're 10 minutes. And yeah. And
So
okay.
are you telling me that they actually can't control everything? Like no matter what you do, you can't. What? In fact,
That's right.
maybe the best thing we could ever do is realize you really can't control much of anything and just to do your best and mind your own business.
Yep. As human beings, we can't control anything except how we act and react to situations. That's why
Free will.
I'm really good at flying it by the seat of my pants because all I have to worry about is how I'm acting and reacting. I don't have to worry about what actually happens. And it's all really cool. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna put this comment up here just to make sure my wife sees it because she gonna beat you when you come back in, boy. Yep. And his comment is, "Boy, your wife takes 2 days to pack just to go to Costco." And he says she takes a streamer trunk with her wherever she go. No, it's not a streamer trunk. It's a rucksack backpack. And I'm the one that usually has to carry it, unfortunately.
For real though, a rucksack backpack. That's
No, it's not that big, but
okay.
she has okay. We love our tumblers, as you can
Uh,
see. And this past year, while Christmas shopping, she found one, a name brand one, not mentioning names because they're not given me anything to say their name, so I'm not going to say their name. But anyway, name brand one. And this was a big jumbo 60-ounce one. Well, she'll fill it up with ice and fill it up with fruit punch. And then it goes into the backpack along with the other half of the house. And that thing gets heavy, man. And every time we get out the car, okay, grab my backpack.
Oh,
I'm getting fit just by carrying her backpack around. And she's going to say, you see, I'm helping you, baby. I'm helping you get in shape. Well, I am in shape. Round is a shape.
How did people survive back in the day before we had giant drinks and all that? I don't know. Not well.
Well, we survived. I don't know about anybody else, but I survived a lot better when we used to still be able to supersize our extra value meals. Thank you, Michael Bloomberg, you asshat.
What happened with that? Like, you can't do that anymore?
There is no more supersize. I don't know if you remember that, but when he was played God in New York, he decided that was too much, and I want to say it was NYC banned supersized drinks, and caused enough of a stink where the rest of the nation followed suit, and then McDonald's got rid of supersize. And dude, okay, fast food is bad for you, but when it comes to McDonald's fries, the bigger the better.
Unless they're more than 3 minutes old, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
McDonald's fries are one of the few fast food items where it's a roulette wheel. You're gonna get either great or meh. You test one on the way out, and you're like, do I have to eat these before I get home because they're already halfway done, or do I eat? Will they make it home and they'll be good? McDonald's fries, you accept them medium or high quality.
Well, you have to take a more refined approach to Mickey D's fries, and that refined approach is what my wife typically does. She will order them without salt.
I can't believe you can refine. Oh, I know, and that's fresh then, right? You get fresh ones.
Yes, because they have to put on a fresh batch, and then when you get to the next window, they give you your stuff. You say, "Okay, I need some salt, please." And then we salt our fries. But yeah, now there are some restaurants, some fast food places that the fries actually taste decent reheated. McDonald's is not one of those, but
No.
unless you have an air fryer. Air fryer makes just about any cold fries taste good. And yeah, Z wants me to tell everybody about the large drinks over there in Asia. Yeah, the large drinks in Asia probably would fit inside this cup. But you also got to realize that people are much smaller in Asia, so they probably don't have to drink very much. Plus, they probably drink a lot of water and stuff.
Their diet's much healthier. It just is. We don't do so good here.
Yeah, well, we don't do so good a lot of places. Okay, I am looking at my stuff. And yeah. Okay, so we only went live tonight on YouTube because I didn't get my settings set right, but it'll be all right because everybody was watching here on YouTube. So we're good. I don't think anybody was watching on TT or Itch. Just for the record, we don't say the names of these streaming services anymore because TT, I think it's TT that has made it taboo, if you will, to say the names of other streaming services.
Okay.
And I don't think YouTube has gotten that picky yet, but you never know.
So we're already like an hour in, but what about next week? Because you talked to me, you invited me again. Now, is that still good, or did I do something bad?
Yes.
Am
And
I
next
still
week,
allowed to come back?
yes, and next week we will have a guest. I'm not going to tell anybody who the guest is yet, but it's somebody that we all know and love. and he will be here, and probably there might even be a giveaway. And yeah, and he's not here coming in to talk about what you think he is, or maybe you think, I don't know, but you folks will just have to tune in next week to see. So that is that. Okay, and recently there was a TTer who made a video berating the restaurant because they didn't put her fries in the bag. And then the next day she put out a retraction because her husband fessed up that he ate them on the way home. That was not me, okay? That was not me. All right, and yes, thank you, Mark. He says, you're good, Mayor. Are we still going to call you the mayor, or have you moved on from that phase?
Call me the mayor. Don't swear. You call me whatever you want, man, but don't swear at me or anything. But like, I don't care. I still feel like.
Or should we call you the governor?
If somebody was like, as I was walking down the street and somebody said mayor, I'd probably look. So whatever you want to call me, I'm not worried about it. I'm not traumatized by anything, any name. There's nothing that's really off limits, except for obvious normal stuff.
Well, we're going to take a poll at some point soon, and on what we're going to call you, if you're going to still be the mayor, or if you graduated up to maybe the commissioner or senator or congressman, since we're using the political thing.
You just never know.
But any final thoughts for tonight?
Once again, I want to thank you for having me on. What you probably don't realize is this is a chance for me to kind of reach out to people that haven't heard me in a long time. And like I said last time, to those people, you're still part of my life. I miss a lot of those contacts, and a lot of them that I had. Know that I think of you, and I hope that like things can start to grow and rebuild now. Now that I'm getting back on camera more, and people are really being more willing to like get me out here. So thank you again for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, and we're glad you're here. Hope you come back. I want to thank all of our lovely watchers and subscribers who joined us tonight, and stay tuned till next week. And also remember, folks, BGG Dagan and I are still doing a hangout, and it's moved to Saturday nights. Right now, tentatively at 6 p.m. on Dagan's channel. So check us out there. I don't know if he has it scheduled yet. Otherwise, I'd have linked it to my show. But catch us in and check us out next week, as we have a guest from the industry and a good friend of ours, who really great guy. So check us out, and always remember and never forget, it's not a trend, it's a lifestyle.